recently bought a box full of pink permission slips, just like we all used to get at school if we had to come in late or leave early. Remember how free you'd feel? Leaving the principal's office, running down the hallways with that signed slip? It was like having diplomatic immunity, or better yet, survivor immunity. No one could say that you were doing something wrong. Well, I decided to see if they feel as liberating now with me simply running around my apartment. And guess what? They do! If I'm about to cause a ripple, I pull out my pad and write myself a slip. Sherri, you have permission to see a movie with your girlfriend, even though it means you won't have time to read so-and-so's book before she comes on The View. Then I stick it in a shoebox. If anyone asks what the heck I was doing last night, I have my slip. The truth is, I'm not even perfect with the slips. In fact, the first one I wrote to myself gave me permission to skip writing a permission slip whenever I wanted. That way, I'm always covered. Do you need a slip? If so, you better give yourself one immediately. So many facets of our lives conspire to make us feel like crap. If you don't give yourself a break, do you think your kids will? Your husband? Your boss? They want you to keep producing, keep giving. I think you'll see in this book that I've inadvertently made every mistake a woman can possibly make. But I'm not living in a cave, and I haven't quit show business. Instead, I give myself permission to be flawed. And you know what? It's working out okay. Men. When I look back at my life, I can honestly state that every bout of near insanity can be directly attributed to a man. After I die, I would like to have a sit-down with God in his family room. The two of us will curl up on a comfy couch with hot chocolate and M&Ms. I'll be able to eat that stuff in heaven. God will turn on the TV and show me that, lo and behold, my entire life has been saved to a DVR. Then he'll hand me the remote and say, "Sherri, ask me anything." I will immediately fast forward to all my bad dates. And each time a man's about to do something stupid, I will put my life on pause, turn to God and say, "Lord, what the heck was that man thinking?" Because I need answers. I admit it, I have a tendency to generalize about men, and that's okay. What are the odds that a man is listening to this book? Listen, I'm speaking from my experience, and what I say about men is true for about 80% of men in general, and 100% of the men I've dated. Men lead charmed lives. We women always feel like we're not doing enough for the people in our lives. Men are exactly the opposite. The less they do, the happier they are. We are yin, they are yang. And if you ask me, being yang looks like a lot more fun. When men forget to do something, they don't feel bad for inconveniencing you. They feel bad because they got caught. Have you ever gotten your wires crossed when arranging who's picking up the kids from school? So badly that your kids spend an extra hour outside the building? Both mom and dad feel bad, but for different reasons. Mom, you imagine your child crying with no one to play with, wondering when mommy is going to come. Your heart breaks a little and you feel like a terrible mother. Now let's cut to dad. He is imagining how mad you're going to be when you find out that he was an hour late. He visualizes that he will not be having sex tonight or this weekend if your child is still crying by the time they get home. After your child is brought home safe and sound, Mom, you will feel guilty for weeks afterward and probably binge on cheesecake, which will make you feel worse. Dad, on the other hand, will consider the child's safe arrival to be a crisis solved and promptly forget the whole thing ever happened. Charmed lives, I tell you. Charmed. Sometimes I think we overcompensate for their gruffness. For example, on a guilt scale of 1 through 10, if you feel a 5 for leaving your child at school and he feels a 0, we women will often subconsciously try to make up for our men by working ourselves up to a 10. Do you know how many binge cakes a 10 is on the guilt scale? A lot. My suggestion? Write yourself a permission slip to think like a guy for a day. Don't worry, you won't be able to do it, but it's fun to try. We women also ignore men at our peril. They tell us who they are, but we don't respect their opinion. We think, oh, I know that's who you think you are, but I know what you can be. As if we're shamans with mystical powers that allow us to change the elements. Hey, we rationalize, if Jesus turned water into wine, why can't I change this player into a husband? Well, A, Jesus' feat is considered a miracle, and B, you ain't Jesus. Women, we need to get realistic about our abilities. Sometimes men are right, especially when they're telling us who they are. If you married your husband thinking you